moment he felt something cold grab his shoulder, and everything went dark. Waking up, Alexander was back at the train station. A crowd of people were rushing about. Everything looked normal, but there was no longer a locket in his hand. In its place was a key with the number 13 on it. He realized the hotel had become a part of him, and now he was its new keeper. Alexander looked at the key with the number 13 for a long time. He realized that this object was more than just a thing. Its weight was palpable, as if the key contained the weight of his fears, his mistakes, and now his destiny. With the key in his hand, Alexander felt himself being pulled backwards. Every movement, every step seemed to bring him closer to the inevitable. He realized that it was pointless to resist. Several hours passed until he found himself on the very street where the North Hotel stood. It looked the same, old, dilapidated, with broken windows and peeling paint. Only now the sign under the name of the building read, "Welcome back." Once inside, Alexander noticed that the hotel had changed. There was no receptionist or guest book in place of the front desk. Instead, there was another key with the number 14 on the counter. Behind the counter, the very same conductor appeared. His eyes were glowing and a sinister smirk froze on his face. "Did you think this was the end?" he said. "No, this is just the beginning." "What am I supposed to do now?" Alexander asked, barely containing the tremor in his voice. "You are a keeper," the conductor answered. "Your task is to receive new guests. Each of them brings a part of themselves, and you ensure that the cycle is not broken." Alexander climbed the familiar stairs, but now every step echoed heavily, as if the hotel itself were watching him. The woman in white, the one who had warned him once before, was waiting for him at the door with number 14. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Because you made a choice," she replied. "You accepted the mirror and your truth. You are now part of this inn, and your destiny is not to break its chain." The door to room 14 opened by itself. There was no furniture inside, only a multitude of mirrors in which people were reflected. Their faces were sad, but each of them looked directly at Alexander, as if asking for help. "They're all waiting to come out," the woman whispered, "and now it's your concern." Alexander realized that he could no longer leave this place. His role was to welcome new guests, observe their journeys, and make sure the cycle continued. Hotel 13 became part of his essence, and he became part of it. That night at the train station, another traveler, tired and lost, noticed the dim light of the north sign. He didn't know what awaited him inside, but Alexander was ready to meet him. Hotel number 13 continued its work, accepting new guests, and its keeper remained on the threshold, watching their fates.